Now it's time for Farmland News with Fladeboe-Land.
Yeah, Fladeboe-Land today. Let's talk with Kristine Fladeboe-Duininck joining us in studio this morning. Kristine, good to see you. If I wanted to see you last week, I would have had to travel where to see you?
Todd, I've been on a trip around the world, literally around the world.
Yeah.
And by the way, good morning to the community. I will say there's no place like home. I called my folks last night. I have made a trip literally around the world in the last number of weeks here. I'll share a little bit more, but I called my mom and dad last night and I said, Mom and Dad, I'm in Kanduhai County. And Dale said, is there... with all the places you've been doing charity work, is home still your favorite? And I said, Dad, by far and away, there's nothing like home. And I truly mean that. Todd, we are so blessed. I love west central Minnesota, and we just have so much to be grateful for. But it's good to be home. So the last 13 years, I have done charity fundraising auction work for International Care Ministries, and none of that is for my glory. It all goes back to my faith and trying to make a difference in the lives of others. 13 years ago, I was doing an auction in Chicago for Feed My Starving Children. They send food to the ultra-poor across the world. Well, this organization called International Care Ministries happened to be at that auction 13 years ago in Chicago. And they called me and they said, would you be our auctioneer in Hong Kong? I believe this was back in 2012. But they said, we first want you to go to the Philippines to see the work that we're doing with the ultra-poor, and we think that you'll do a better job. So my husband and I flew to the Philippines and spent time in the ultra-poor villages, and that really changed our hearts, Todd. I just have a deep passion and love. Sadly, Todd, in this world that we live in, there's billions of ultra-poor. And like I said, none of my work is for my glory. Actually, the time spent with the ultra-poor, I'm not the gift to them, Todd, not for a second. They're the gift to me. They center my heart, and there's so much to learn from the ultra-poor. But so long story short, I've been at this now in Asia for the last, about 13 years. I make a 2-week trip, and we did auctions in Hong Kong, Manila, Philippines, and in Singapore. So I've been in 3 different countries helping with their benefit auctions. We raised a lot of money to serve the ultra-poor, but the truth is it's kind of a drop in the ocean. There's a lot of work to be done in helping with the ultra-poor here in our world. But I couldn't be more proud of International Care Ministries and the work that they're doing, and it's just a great honor and privilege to have served with their team here in Asia these past couple weeks. But I got to tell you, I don't know if you heard, Todd, in Cebu, Philippines, there was a 6.9 scaled earthquake in the northern tip of Cebu, Philippines. They had a large earthquake. I'm thankful to report that the staff of International Care Ministries is all safe. But last night when I went to bed, I touched down in Minneapolis about 5 o'clock, but when I went to bed, I think 70 people were already had reported to have lost their lives. So prayers to the northern tip here of Cebu, Philippines. And right before we got to Hong Kong, that they had a typhoon, not a deadly typhoon, but the world is filled with some interesting weather events. But again, there's no place like home, but just happy to have been able to serve and try to make a difference in the lives of others. And we had 3 amazing events and had a ton of fun. Got to tell you something real quickly before we move on. There's a 11-year-old, his name is George, and he grew up in an ultra-poor family. He was my auctioneer sidekick in all 3 countries. He traveled with our team, and George helped me take bids. George told his story. Just a really impressive young man. George gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning to help feed his siblings. He walks to school several miles one way and back. He lives in a bamboo hut with dirt floors. They have to walk for water. They're lucky if they maybe have one meal of rice a day. Well, George told his story at these 3 auction events and sang for the crowd. And I had an opportunity to meet him last year in Asia. Well, then he was able to get his passport and travel with our team to both Singapore and Hong Kong. And he worked on the stage with me. And when I'd sell an item, Todd, he was the one that went, going once, going twice, sold.
Fun.
And then on the stage, I taught him at auction school how to do a tongue twister. And so our father learned 47 years ago, and Glenn and Kim and I and myself, at auction school, you learn tongue twisters. And so I taught this to George a year ago. Well, he'd been practicing with his English for a year, and he got faster and faster. And so we started out getting the crowd in the mood with doing this tongue twister. So it's 11-year-old George. He's got a microphone, and it's myself. And I'll put some pictures on Facebook if people want to see for fun. But the tongue twister goes this way. A big black bug bit a big brown bear. A big black bug bit a big brown bear. 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 Then I said, George, faster and faster. Well, he'd been practicing, so he's got a mic, I got a mic. And then we went, big black bug bit a big brown bear. Big black bug bit a big brown bear. Big black bug bit a big brown bear. And he could follow with me. He did just absolutely amazing. And it wasn't me, it was George. The crowd was on their feet because of 11-year-old George. And I told the crowd, I have found my succession plan for Asia. I've already identified their upcoming auctioneer. But no, God is good. A safe trip. Again, not for my praise. I haven't been the gift to the auction fundraising for the ultra poor in Asia. They've truly, they've been the gift to me. Iron sharpens iron and have really centered my heart. But there's no place like home. It's good to be in Kandiyohi County. You
use that phrase, ultra poor. I'm not sure. Is there how do you identify who would be ultra poor?
Yes. I need to kind of relook up these statistics to make sure I'm correct too. But, whether it's China or India or the Philippines or Haiti, and the list goes on and on. There's, several billions of people in the world that are classified as ultra poor. And I believe that means less than $2 a day. Might even mean less than 50 cents a day. And I think there's different classifications, poor and ultra poor and ultra poor. But it basically means, for some people, they're living on less than $2 a day or 50 cents a day. And a lot of those people go to bed at night hungry and wondering where their next meal is coming from. And I don't say any of that to sound heavy, but something I think that should be kind of a law is that, this is going to sound bold, but I think that everyone should have to go visit an ultra poor village to see what their life is like. And so this is dirt floors. We were just in Africa in January. People walk miles for their water. It might be clean, might not be clean. Most of them have to boil their water. Bamboo walls, dirt floors. And again, a lot of these people, they may get a meal a day, and for some people, they have no idea where their next meal is coming from. So I really have a heart for poverty. But there's one thing I'll say that's really amazing, and I'm painting this with a wide brush because I can't imagine how hard their way of life is. If there's one takeaway I've had in seeing the ultra poor in Africa and in the Philippines many, many times, is their joy. I'm amazed, Todd, on the whole, these people have so much joy. They really have nothing, but a lot of them are believers, and with their faith and their relationships of family and faith, many of them will say that's pretty much all they need. And so I think oftentimes we can chase worldly things, and I don't want this to become a sermon from Kristine, but their joy in their faith, their joy in relationships, their joy in just being alive, they've taught me, they've sharpened me and taught me to just be super thankful.
Yeah, that's terrific. Thanks for your good works over there. Exciting trip, I'm sure, but work at the same time. Here locally, you're back home, you have some upcoming auctions.
That's right. We're excited. We have a lot of upcoming auctions and just really love the work that we're doing. Again, thank you to the buyers, the sellers, the community. We're going to celebrate 48 years in March, and the work that we're doing really is a passion. Yes, we have many exciting upcoming auctions and projects. I want to talk about the Omer and Pearl Christianson Estate and family. This is a 2-parcel auction in Pope County. Todd, it's an online only. Thursday, November 6th is when that closes at 2 p.m. Bidding opens Thursday, October 30th. And if you're looking for a really cool 2 different parcels just south of Terrace, this is the auction for you. Parcel 1 is roughly 100 tillable acres, again, south of Terrace here in Pope County. Tillable acres to be proud of. They're good quality. Parcel 2 is roughly 47 surveyed acres. In my 30 years in this work, Todd, this is one of the most beautiful building sites that we have worked with. It sits on the top rung of beauty. This building site is amazing. It has a trail system, a barn, 47 acres that's absolutely on a blacktop road. It has a little bit of tillable and one of the coolest building sites. So if you're looking to live south of Terrace with the trail system and woods and tillable and a building site that just gives you goosebumps, go to our website, watch that drone video. But really proud to go to work for the Christianson Estate and family for that online only. Then we have the Laurie Denbrook auction. This is going to be prime farmland in Chippewa County. This is live and online. This will be Monday, November 10th at 1 o'clock. Monday, November 10th at 1 o'clock. The auction's going to be in Montevideo. This has a really high CPI. It's a super quality farm, has a very high CPI. The tillable acres are roughly 68 tillable acres north of Montevideo. But if you're looking for an awesome quality farm, has a nice outlet, do check out our website, the Laurie Denbrook auction. Also want to talk to you, Dr. Susan and Dr. Lee Cafferty. They used to be physicians here in the Willmar area. They have moved. They're incredible people, super down to earth. I think the world of Dr. Lee and Susan Cafferty. And they have a farm in Stevens County that we are going to have on an online-only auction in November. About 150 tillable acres. They put a ton of tile into that farm. And just a farm to be extremely proud of. Again, go to our website, look for the Dr. Lee and Susan Cafferty Farm, Stevens County. Again, just an awesome, productive farm with a lot of tile. And I miss the Caffertys. We've sold, it's our second auction for them. And they're just wonderful-hearted people, and we miss them here in the community. But do go to our website. We have drone videos. We have a lot coming up. Oh, lastly, I'll tell you about the Wayland and Cynthia Zaski parcel. This is not an auction, but farmland for sale. A high crop production index, 89.7, 66 tillable acres in Erickson Township, Renville County. If you're looking for a small but very productive piece, sits close to a ditch, Renville County, a beautiful farm that we have for sale, Wayland and Cynthia Zaski, who are equally wonderful people. We fall in love with our sellers. But Todd, I got to tell you, you've been on my heart. I watched your video to the public, and Todd, you're a good man. I believe you're doing the right thing in helping to serve and look over your mom and stepdad. But from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of myself and the community, you're going to be missed. Thank you. You've been such a gift to this community, and we're holding you close. We're keeping you in our prayers, as well as your mom and stepdad. Know how appreciative we are for the person you are and all that you brought to the community. And please know that we're holding you close.
Thanks so much, Kristine. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Thank you to the community. Take good care.
Kristine Fladeboe-Duininck here on Ask the Expert.